Hi Wellness Warriors, I'm Melissa with Mental Muscle Wellness, and today I have for you a simple standing yoga routine that can work to help alleviate low back pain and tightness. So grab a mat and come on, join me. So low back pain is something that many people suffer with and can be really debilitating in your everyday life. And typically when we experience low back pain, our first impulse, our first instinct is to forward fold and to stretch long here along our spine. And while that's not necessarily a terrible impulse, it's missing the bigger picture. And the bigger picture is that especially in the lumbar region of your spine, there are a lot of muscles there, some big and some small, but they control a lot of different movement and motion. And you also have to take into consideration the fact that portions of your lower body musculature also affect what's happening at your low back. So today's yoga postures are meant to get your spine moving in some ways that maybe we don't necessarily think about. We're going to twist a little, we're going to release our hip flexors, which is also really important in low back pain, and we're going to do a little stretch for our hamstrings and our glutes as well. So to start, you're going to bring yourself to the center of your mat, and if you don't have one, it's not absolutely necessary for this workout. You can find yourself just an open patch of floor somewhere in your living space. Feet maybe 3 feet apart or so, and you want your toes very slightly turned out. We're going to start actually with a Pilates exercise called Zig Zag. And I find that this is really useful to get the spine moving in a way that's very subtle, to kind of warm up the back for some of the other exercises that we're doing. So as always, the first thing you want to do is pull in your core, really contract everything, make sure that we have a nice stable midsection of our body. We're going to keep our knees soft. You're going to take one hand and you're going to reach up almost to a diagonal as far as you comfortably can while your feet stay on the mat. And then you're going to repeat that on the second side. And then you're going to do the same thing, except this time we're going to go low, down right in front of our toes. Now that's one full rep. So what we're going to do is we are going to do 8 reps starting to the left, and then 8 reps starting to the right. And I also want you to concentrate on your breath while we do this. We should be inhaling as we're reaching tall and exhaling as we're reaching low. So again, hopefully what you notice is that your spine is moving very subtly here. As we reach up, we do a little bitty back bend and an arch. As we reach down, we do almost a mini standing crunch. So we're getting some flexion and extension. And we're also moving again very subtly side to side, preparing our system for some twists. And again, just warming up all of those tiny little postural muscles that line each individual vertebrae. So one more round. Is to the left. And so again, we're going to repeat that starting with right lead. So again, reach up, inhale, reach up, inhale, and then again, down to the corners, round and exhale. It's important anytime you're working in general, exercising, but especially with your spine, to take the extra 2 or 3 minutes to really warm it up. Your spine does so much for you. It works so hard all day, just holding us upright. And making sure again that we take the time to give it the attention that it needs and deserves. is really important. Last one right here. And come back, stand nice and tall. We are going to turn, again, if you're on a mat, turn so that you are facing the short side. If you don't have a mat, again, just turn your body if you want. We're going to come, we're going to stand, we're going to practice nice tall posture. And hopefully you can see me from the side okay. What you want is your shoulders to stack right on top of your hips. You want your abdominal muscles pulling in, again, engaging everything right here so that we're nice and tall. And that our chest can come up, kind of up and out as we inhale and we breathe. So we're just going to stand and sort of practice that for a moment. Exhale. And then we're going to come into tree pose. Okay, so inhale, you're going to lift one foot so that the sole of your foot is on the inner portion of the base leg. Okay, and I'll turn just so that you can sort of see from the front. Okay. And then once you have your feet set and you feel fairly stable, you can bring your arms up into prayer. We don't need to do anything crazy with the upper body here. Our focus and our concentration is on our hips and on our spine. If you're struggling with balance, don't forget you always have the option of moving your foot a little bit lower. The most important thing right here is that your knee stays pointed out towards the side. We don't want to see it flare front, and we don't want to hyperextend and push it to the back. One more breath. We're going to inhale, and that upper leg is going to pop up in front like this, and our upper body is going to rotate towards that knee. So I'm going to rotate to face towards the camera. This is called Diva Twist. And again, if your rotation looks like mine, that's great. If your rotation looks more like this, 45-degree angle or even smaller, because that's what's comfortable with your spine, you do you. And exhale, rotate your upper body back center and square. And you're going to kick that tall leg out behind you. We're going to step into a lunge posture. Okay, so again, working on opening that hip flexor on that back leg. Again, a couple of nice, easy breaths. And inhale, step forward in front. That was the first side. We've got the second side to do. You're welcome to stay however you're oriented at home. I'm going to turn so again that my body's actually in view properly on the video. Okay, so again, from here, practice that nice tall posture, shoulders in line over hips, core nice and engaged. Inhale, and again, that second foot is going to come up, resting on the inside of the leg. Take note, I always mention to clients and students, 2 different sides of the body. Sometimes you need 2 different things. Okay, whoops, see, as I fall down. So again, if you notice that the second side is more challenging for you balance-wise, go ahead and move your foot. Take the version that you need. Once you feel good, again, hands come right into the center. Upper body stays quiet as the focus is on our hips and our lower back. And moving into that Diva Twist. Inhale, pop that knee right in front of you. exhale, rotate your upper body. Again, just reminding you, two different sides may need two different things. Okay, so if your twist here looks like this, that's okay. Work with where your body is. And exhale, release the twist in the upper body. Kick that leg back. Nice little release in the hip flexors in this lunge pose. We sit so much in our daily lives. I think it's tough for us to realize sometimes how tight this front side of our hips can be and how much of an effect that actually has on your lower back. When things tighten here, it pulls your hips forward and out of alignment, and that puts a lot of tension and stress on the low back. And inhale, step it back in front. Relax the arms down. And take a second just to kind of walk around wherever you are on your mat. Shake out the lower body and the legs. And we're gonna come to what I call flipped toes posture. So you're gonna stand wide on your mat, feet 4, maybe 4.5 feet apart, depending on how tall you are and how comfortable you feel in this position. One of your feet is going to be parallel with the short side of the mat. The other is going to be perpendicular, or in other words, your toes are going to be pointing at that short side of the mat. Okay? And we're going to start with just a nice, simple, straightforward warrior 2. So inhale, arms come up. Exhale, relax the shoulders. Lunge that knee on the pointed toe. And we're just going to relax here just for a second. This is actually a really great hip opening posture. We don't necessarily realize it. It's not necessarily one of the more challenging yoga postures. There's actually a lot going on right here. And we're gonna exhale, drop this back hand onto the rear leg while the front hand rotates up. This is reverse warrior. And again, you should feel that emphasis right here, that front hip. Should be getting a nice stretch. If it's comfortable for your neck, you can look up tall at the ceiling or at your hand. If it's not, you can just fix your gaze somewhere out in front of you, nice and neutral. And we are going to do a big windmill. So we're going to inhale and come up. Exhale, this front arm is going to drop down on our thigh. The back hand now comes up and tall for side angle. This is actually a modified side angle, but I really, really like it for the release that it has for the side body right here. Because the focus is not necessarily so much on stretching all the way to the ground. The focus is on what's going on in your torso. And again, if you feel comfortable, you can look at the tall hand or you can gaze straight ahead as I'm doing right now. And inhale, we're gonna windmill right back up to warrior 2. And release the leg, drop the arms, sort of let everything relax a moment. We're gonna flip our toes so they'll have the opposite orientation. Whatever toe was perpendicular becomes parallel and vice versa. And we're gonna repeat that for the second side. Okay, so just as before, the second side may need some different things. That's completely okay. Inhale, arms come up. Exhale, nice, gentle, easy warrior 2 lunge. The focus here is going to be on the opposite hips. So whereas before reverse warrior was on this side, side angle was on this side, we're sort of switching it. So you may notice a little bit of tightness. Your body may want to work against you or feel like it's fighting you a little bit here. That's normal. Just use your breath and let that exhale help you. We're gonna exhale, reverse warrior first. Drop the hand onto that back leg. Front arm comes up tall. Again, you can look at your hand or pick a neutral spot out in front of you. And here comes that big windmill all the way around to side angle. So we're going to inhale and exhale, forearm comes down, back arm comes tall. Again, switching the focus on which hip. I really like this combination of reverse warrior to side angle. I think it's really great for targeting each hip individually. But the other great thing is it focuses on, again, the musculature in your core and particularly in your torso, your abdominals, those deep spine muscles, spine extensors, multifidus that really have a lot to do with control and creating these very small micro movements in between each vertebrae that allow us to really bend and flex in lots of different directions. And inhale up, exhale, relax. One more time, we're going to switch the toes. And triangle series. So here we're going to pull the focus onto stretching that rear side of the body. We've opened up our hips now. Hopefully you feel that. You feel a little more relaxed. But we're going to, again, stretch our hamstrings and our glutes. We're also going to throw another twist in here. So triangle pose. Inhale, arms come up just like they did for Warrior 2. And exhale, keeping both legs straight. This front hand comes down. If you can reach the floor, that's great. If you can't, anywhere on your shin is fine. Again, the purpose of triangle pose here is not to get into the deepest position you possibly can. It's to allow the stretch to happen, both in the side body here, as we did with side angle, and in the hamstring on that front leg. And shifting into triangle, I'm going to exhale, drop the top hand, and come so that you've got both hands resting on your shin. Again, if you can reach the floor, fantastic, have at it. My gaze, just to give you reference, is staring right at kind of the corner of my couch right here, but it's about 4 feet away from my toes, so you shouldn't necessarily have your chin tucked down. Gaze out in front of you just a wee bit. And revolved triangle. So this time we're going to move triangle pose, but instead of facing the camera, you're going to face away. So in other words, you'll see me turn and I will be facing this back wall with the windows behind me. Okay? So you're going to inhale, same thing. Opposite arm comes up as straight as you can get it. We've got that twist and that stretch happening right here. And again, if you need to shorten the stance a little bit, that's totally fine. And exhale, drop that hand. You should have both hands on your shin, back in pyramid. You're going to inhale, walk up nice and slow. Give your body time to adjust to the different position. And one last time, we're going to rotate our toes, flip them back. And we're going to go through that progression on the second side. Okay? Again, starting with standard triangle. Inhale, arms come up. Exhale and fold. Again, letting that bottom hand fall where it's comfortable. I'm filming this right now during a really, really cold snap that we're having in the middle of winter. And my muscles definitely feel it. I think sometimes we don't necessarily account for that either. Go ahead and drop this top hand, nice and slow. Rotate it square, pyramid. Again, you should really be feeling that stretch on the hamstring in that front leg. Couple of breaths. And with that second hand, we're going to open so that we're facing the opposite direction. So again, you'll face away from the screen. I will face the back wall in my living room. Inhale. And come tall. Again, you can see my front leg fighting me. So I'm going to go shorter on this side because that seems to be where my body wants. And exhale, drop that hand, both on the shin. Inhale, use your hands, walk it up. Again, take that time to regain your posture. Take a step in, give everything a little wiggle. Let your body relax. I hope you enjoyed this, and if you would be interested in a seated version, let me know down in the comments. Otherwise, until next time, be well, friends.